Hello, good day everyone. This is your teacher friend Liz. Once again, I'm back. I will be discussing quarter 2, module 1 of our subject Earth and Life Science entitled Introduction to Life Science. What will be our learning objectives? Letter A, explain the evolving concept of life based on emerging pieces of evidence. Second, describe the condition on early Earth that made the origin of life possible and the first life forms. And the last one, but not the least, is the ways on how to preserve and conserve various life forms. But I would like you to ponder the following information first, or facts, about these two things. What you need to know. The first one, this sounds simpler and a common terminology. Number 1, what is life? We all know that life is any system capable of performing functions such as, but not limited to, the following: eating, metabolizing, excreting, breathing, moving, growing, reproducing, and even responding to external stimuli. What about life science? What is life science? Life science is a scientific study of living things, including many levels of investigation, from the study of interaction of organic molecules to the interaction of animals and plants with their environment. Now, you might have an idea, or you might get confused or mix life science with biology, because biology also studies living things, right? We will talk about that later. But what's in? We exist in the universe so vast that we have only started to explore it. In the present, we only know one planet that is inhabited by life, which is our planet Earth. But how do life come to Earth then? We will trace back the history 3.5 billion years ago. It is implicated that we have evolved from a common ancestors, same as what I mentioned, that existed billion of years ago, which is supported by the similarities in terms of biochemical, genetic, and metabolic similarities among Earth species. But before we proceed to deeper topics about introduction to life science as well as the evolving pieces of evidence, I would like to have fun in learning this topic by giving you our first activity so you would know what's new for today. Activity number 1, search for me. Search for the following words related to our new lesson. Please mark the words that you can find in the puzzle vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. You can copy the image from the description of this video and just draw a line using your edit pen brush and find abiogenesis, eukaryote, biology, fossil, quasarvates, monomer, cyanobacteria, and primordial. Quasarvates, you can just quasarvate. There might be a word that doesn't have an S. You might find that in the puzzle. I will give you 5 minutes and please enjoy.
Life goes up and it goes down. I know my mom taught me that. I figured why we fool around so little, and we keep track of time, being so serious. Idiots thinking it will matter, keep me company downtown before the clock runs out. Sun is shining, but the rain is welcome too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around. And then I remember all things must pass, but I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. I'm afraid I'll end up nowhere. They keep saying I'll be fine, but how you know that I'll be there when it feels like I'm lying every time someone asks how it goes, and I save the details that actually mean something. too. Friends are nearby, don't need another view. Time is not on my mind, but then it's you. Oh, I love it when the love comes around, and then I remember all things must pass. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. But I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up, wake up. I'm not ready, let me have another day. Don't wake up, wake up. Keep it steady, cause I'm happy, I'm not gonna wake up. No, no, not yet, whoa. No, not yet, whoa. No, no, not yet, whoa. I'm not gonna wake up. What you gonna do? I don't wanna be the one who just keeps on chasing you, baby. Don't you know it's true? I'm not like the other girls, baby, don't get it confused. You gotta work to call me your own. Ain't no doubt about it. Don't call me up when you feel alone, cause I can't do without it. Tell me what's the move? I can't do this anymore, need something new, 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 new. Show me that you want me to. Oh, I'm starting to get bored, so in motion, I need more. I'm not your ordinary girl, no. I'm not your ordinary girl, no. Cause I know you love the attention, but you know I'm on a mission. Yeah, I know you love the attention, but I don't do second guessing, yeah. You gotta work to call me your own. Ain't no doubt about it. Don't call me up when you feel alone, cause I can do without it, yeah. Tell me what's the move? I can't do this anymore, need something new, 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 new. Show me that you want me to. Oh, I'm starting to get bored, slow in motion, I need more. I'm not your ordinary girl, no. I'm not your ordinary girl, no.
Alright, here it comes. What is it? A while ago, I mentioned biology because it is also the science that deals with all life forms, including their classification, physiology, chemistry, and interaction. The term was introduced in Germany in 1800s and popularized by the French naturalist Jean-Baptiste Delamare as a means of encompassing the growing number of disciplines involved with the study of living form. So you might be wondering, what is the difference between life science and biology? Life science is actually a broader concept, while biology is very specific scientific study. When we say biology, it only focuses on the study of life and living organisms. It's more on general term that refers to a specific field of study, like it is normally divided into different branches: anatomy, physiology, ecology, genetics. Whereas life science is a broader term that encompasses any scientific study of life. Biology is more a specific field of study with many different branches, while life science it acts as a bigger umbrella, and biology is just underneath life science. Sometimes biology can be also called as, or life science can also be called as biological science. So you might be asking yourself, is biology considered a life science? And the simplest way to define life sciences is the study of living organisms and life processes. At NC Biotech, we see it as a science involving cells and their components, products, and processes. Biology, medicine, and agriculture are the most obvious examples of the discipline. Going back to our topic, for evolving concept of life, you might be asking yourself, if that is the case, we have different theories about life and planet Earth. So your question is, where do life begin? Where did life begin then? That's where the theories of the origin of life will come into play. We have what we call the theory of special creation, or in the book or in the Google, you might find it called or quoted as the divine creation or the divine theory. That is in accordance with the book of Genesis. What does it tell us? The theory of special creation says that all living organisms were created by God in which it exists today. Specifically from the book of Genesis. While the second theory, called as cosmozoic theory or otherwise known as panspermia, this theory says that life reached the planet Earth from other heavenly bodies such as meteorites in the form of highly resistant spores of some microorganisms. The spores of some microorganisms are called cosmozoa or panspermia, that's where it got its name, because they are preserved inside meteorites coming to the Earth from the outer space. These meteorites struck the barren Earth to release cosmozoa, and they develop into different creatures of the Earth. The third theory of the origin of life is what we call as abiogenesis, with an A from the beginning, or otherwise known as the theory of spontaneous generation. What does it tell us? You already know that bio means life. If there's an A at the beginning, that means non-life. So this theory says that life arose from non-life more than 3.5 billion years ago on Earth. Abiogenesis proposes that the first life forms generated were just very simple and through a gradual process became increasingly complex. It is the idea proposed by Richter in 1865 and supported by Arrhenius during 1908 or 1908. So it's not that confusing that much, isn't it? The next one is the opposite theory of biogenesis. This theory says that life is derived from the reproduction of other life, was presumably preceded by abiogenesis, which became impossible once Earth's atmosphere assumed its present composition. On the fifth on the list, primordial soup theory. What does it tell us? It was proposed by Alexander Oparin and John Haldane. It says that life started in primordial soup of organic molecules, that some form of energy from lightning combined with chemicals in the atmosphere to make the building blocks of protein known as amino acids. Quasar rate theory, number 6, suggesting that the origin of life was preceded by the formation of mixed colloidal units called quasarvates. These are particles composed of two or more colloids, which might be protein, lipid, or nucleic acid. According to Alexander Oparin, he proposed that while these molecules were not living, they behaved like biological systems in the ancient seas. While for Miller hypothesis, the first hypothesis where lightning could have operated the synthesis reactions in the Earth's early atmosphere was tested in 1953. It provided the first evidence that It provided the evidence that organic molecules needed for life could be formed from inorganic components. Some scientists support the RNA world hypothesis, which suggests that the first life was self replicating RNA. We also have the fossil evidence. Fossil evidence indicates that life on Earth appeared about 3.5 billion years ago in the oceans, provided protection from ultraviolet or UV rays. It allowed multidirectional movement, served as a medium for essential chemical reactions, and anaerobic prokaryotes. So, what are the early forms of life then? The first forms of life are believed to have appeared some 3.5 billion years ago. There exist photosynthetic organisms. What are these? Photosynthetic organisms make their own food by utilizing the energy from the sun and the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. We are familiar with that one from the plants who makes their own food. The process of photosynthesis produces more oxygen that changes the Earth's early atmosphere, allowing oxygen-breathing organisms to exist. That includes us, humans. And one example of photosynthetic organism that exists a long time ago is cyanobacteria, or commonly known as blue-green algae, are the first photosynthetic organisms to form. So they're a little bit older than us. Can you do this activity number 2? What's more, I want you to identify the concept being asked. For the number 1, considered as the first photosynthetic organisms to form, what is that? Second, fossils contain the remains of tiny plants and animals. What do you think it is? Number 3, this is the science that deals with all forms of life. Number 4, this theory proposed that life started in a primordial soup of organic molecules. Number 5, these are particles composed of 2 or more colloids, which might be protein, lipid, or nucleic acid. At number 6, these are organisms who can convert energy from the sun and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere to food. 7, this process allowed aerobic organisms to exist. What do you think that process would be, or that is? At number 8, the scientists will propose that organisms evolve over time to adapt their environment to survive. At number 10, the scientists who popularized the term biology. And the last but not the least, the special force that was once thought possessed by living things so they can make organic molecules. I will give you 5 minutes. Good luck and enjoy. For the next activity, I want to know what have you learned. For activity number 3 in a sheet of pad paper, I would like you to write the comparison of primordial soup theory to Miller-Urey hypothesis. I will let you think for 5 minutes. And to complement or to supplement your knowledge about introduction of life science, I would like to share this video from TED Ed. It's very informative and it's very cool.
Billions of years ago, on the young planet Earth, simple organic compounds assembled into more complex coalitions that could grow and reproduce. They were the very first life on Earth, and they gave rise to every one of the billions of species that have inhabited our planet since. At the time, Earth was almost completely devoid of what we'd recognize as a suitable environment for living things. The young planet had widespread volcanic activity and an atmosphere that created hostile conditions. So where on Earth could life begin? To begin the search for the cradle of life, it's important to first understand the basic necessities for any life form. Elements and compounds essential to life include hydrogen, methane, nitrogen, carbon dioxide, phosphates, and ammonia. In order for these ingredients to commingle and react with each other, they need a liquid solvent, water. And in order to grow and reproduce, all life needs a source of energy. Life forms are divided into two camps: autotrophs, like plants, that generate their own energy, and heterotrophs, like animals, that consume other organisms for energy. The first life form wouldn't have had other organisms to consume, of course, so it must have been an autotroph, generating energy either from the sun or from chemical gradients. So what locations meet these criteria? Places on land or close to the surface of the ocean have the advantage of access to sunlight. But at the time when life began, the UV radiation on Earth's surface was likely too harsh for life to survive there. One setting offers protection from this radiation and an alternative energy source: the hydrothermal vents that wind across the ocean floor, covered by kilometers of seawater and bathed in complete darkness. A hydrothermal vent is a fissure in the Earth's crust where seawater seeps into magma chambers and is ejected back out at high temperatures, along with a rich slurry of minerals and simple chemical compounds. Energy is particularly concentrated at the steep chemical gradients of hydrothermal vents. There's another line of evidence that points to hydrothermal vents: the last universal common ancestor of life, or LUCA for short. LUCA wasn't the first life form, but it's as far back as we can trace. Even so, we don't actually know what LUCA looked like. There's no LUCA fossil, no modern-day LUCA still around. Instead, scientists identified genes that are commonly found in species across all three domains of life that exist today. Since these genes are shared across species and domains, they must have been inherited from a common ancestor. These shared genes tell us that LUCA lived in a hot, oxygen-free place and harvested energy from a chemical gradient, like the ones at hydrothermal vents. There are two kinds of hydrothermal vent: black smokers and white smokers. Black smokers release acidic, carbon dioxide-rich water, heated to hundreds of degrees Celsius and packed with sulfur, iron, copper, and other metals essential to life. But scientists now believe that black smokers were too hot for LUCA, so now the top candidates for the cradle of life are white smokers. Among the white smokers, a field of hydrothermal vents on the mid-Atlantic ridge called Lost City has become the most favored candidate for the cradle of life. The seawater expelled here is highly alkaline and lacks carbon dioxide, but is rich in methane and offers more hospitable temperatures. Adjacent black smokers may have contributed the carbon dioxide necessary for life to evolve at Lost City. giving it all the components to support the first organisms that radiated into the incredible diversity of life on Earth today. Did you know that a single-celled organism caused the first mass extinction? Check out this animation about how it almost wiped out life on Earth and paved the way for complex life.
And also, I would like you to reflect on the following. For the last activity for this module, what you can do. What else can you do? First, why do you think it's important to know how life started? Please write your answer in a sheet of paper, or you can write it in the Word and send it to me. The second, what would be the implications if organisms did not evolve or adapt to their environment? Can you give me 2 examples? Please write your answer in a sheet of paper. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have learned something new today. Once again, this is your teacher friend Lee. See you in my next video and enjoy learning. Bye!